So far, the Crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans.
Well, it's going out. And don't you know
Hello and welcome to the club. I'm your host Mars. This is the Upper 90 Club, season 3 of the Upper 90 Club. Roundtable podcast where 5 friends discuss the Columbus Crew. On this episode, we're going to talk about the new jersey, the new kit. We're not going to talk about New Jersey. We're going to talk to Tom Bogert from The Athletic. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see if he
He's a
shows.
busy boy.
Don't leave us at the altar, Tom. And then we're going to talk to Tommy from the Stars and Stripes.
Yeah, Scarves and Spikes. So not America. Tommy.
Yeah. All right. What was it again? Scarves and
Spikes.
Jeez, sorry, Tommy.
That actually makes sense. That makes sense. Why? Okay, that makes sense.
All right. From the Atlanta podcast, we had him on last season, and I know that you guys have hung out with him. He's frequently at the Columbus Atlanta games, right? In Columbus.
Well, he's from Cleveland, so right. I played a show up there, and he came out, and he's come to all the Columbus games. He's coming to this Columbus game, and he was at the final with press passes and stuff.
Right.
Tommy's good people.
Okay, and then we're going to lay out our first round of predictions for this season because the season starts here this weekend on the 24th. So with me in the club are Ben, Mort, Trey, and Hawes. Say hey, tip of the hat, guys.
Hey, tip of the hat, guys.
You did exactly what I asked you to
Tip of the hat.
do, and I'm just waiting. I see Ben has not responded yet.
Not yet.
Waiting for him to interrupt me. I'm trying to find a way to preempt it. Follow us on
Tip of the hat, Mars.
I gotta recover for a second.
Oh my lord!
Follow us on Twitter at Elon Musk, and follow us on. What else do we do? Instagram.
I re-upped Blue Sky yesterday on the toilet. Well, I was poo-pooing.
Yep.
So I got Blue Sky up and officially going with I don't know, I put Trey's face on there per usual.
This is the second episode in a row
Blue Sky.
where you have availed yourself of
Defecation
toilet time.
Yeah.
Well,
Toilet
a lot
world.
of the comments are like, I bet
Get
you Ben doesn't even poo or anything, and I'm like, I'll show them.
This is
Everybody does. I heard.
never happened.
They come up.
We
to me
are
in the
on
store
Instagram, but nobody follows us. So
because someone doesn't post often.
hey,
right.
I've posted for every episode.
Okay, all right. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Upper 90 Club Pod, and follow us on YouTube if you want to watch videos of our logo with this episode.
Videos of our audio. Yeah.
Upper 90 Club. Okay. Well, hey guys. So welcome back. We were talking before we got on here, but I wanted to pick the conversation back up. I know that many jerseys dropped in the last week, and none so with so much potential as the Cincy sips and paints jersey 2024. In case you have not seen it, it's a canvas, right? Is it made of canvas? Like, do we know? Like, it's a poly blend, canvas blend.
Does anybody know if they did this on purpose or if someone was like, "Oh crap! All we did was we forgot to make a
It
jersey."
had to
this
be.
real?
Let's run with that.
Yeah.
That guy
Is it
painted it.
real?
Let's
No.
do it. Let's run.
Is
with
this
it.
real? Is this fake news? Is it real?
It's real.
Yeah. I mean, it's a real.
I mean, it's fake
jersey.
real
It's just
news.
white.
Yeah. Like,
And it's just
Okay.
white. Like they
So
forgot to design something. They're
So
like,
Cincinnati has
Mostly
Cincinnati-
white jersey.
mostly white jersey, and they said like paint your own thing on it.
Pretty much.
That's what someone is saying.
Yes.
Yeah, so we were kind of talking about what we could do. We were talking, what did we say?
I'm trying to do
I
it
wanted the
right now
airbrush.
as we're on the pod.
Ben is
Take it
trying
to
to
the
do
mall.
it. Trey wants to get it airbrushed at the mall.
Mhm.
What would you have him do?
Such a good idea.
Ooh,
would you
I
have it
definitely
say?
do that Gary the Lion thing for sure, and have him maybe getting spanked by a spoon. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought we
there's-
were talking about little baby Acosta with a bottle.
yeah. We do
Big head, tiny baby body.
the caricature of Luciano.
Okay. All right. And Ben, you were gonna put like 3 wooden spoons.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I
or
don't know
something
how to
like
use
that
paint.
above the logo, or we talked about doing triples is best, triples is safe.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing
Hashtag
right
wooden
now.
spoon.
2019, 2020, 2021. Wooden spoon winners.
Okay, I like that. Well, so we did not have to worry about that because the design was delivered for the new Crew home, proper noun, home kit. It's not just a home kit. It's not just a jersey you wear at home. It's the home kit, and they really leaned into that. The home kit. So you guys have seen this. It's like what are some of the key aspects of this jersey? It is yellow. It has a how did you describe it, Haas? A modesty sheath on the V.
on the neckline.
Yep.
That V can't be too deep. They got
It's not a V.
It's a modesty
There's
collar. Yeah.
There's a collar that kind of goes perpendicular to
I like
the
the term
V.
modesty collar.
so we don't see too much chest. We don't want too much chest out there.
Yeah, look
And
at you,
most
Nagby.
notably, this is a Charlie Brown jersey.
Yeah, 100%.
It's got like a big it's great. You know, if you want to get technical, there's like a double
Charlie Brown.
double overlaid gradient Charlie Brown squiggle across the middle. What do you think?
Oh man, let's
You like
talk
it?
about it.
I mean, at first, I hated it. I hated it because of how hyped up it was and how I was told how good it was going to be and how amazing it was. And I was like, that's it?
That's what we're getting.
But I think over time, I'm fine with it. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It'll probably grow on me, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before, is that I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Like,
That's what
It's
you tell
okay.
the kids when you're really mad at them.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is.
They're pretty backhanded.
So, yeah, I'm with you all.
I mean,
and I think the
not as
leaked
bad
picture
as
didn't
this
really show it either on the best version
Sorry,
of it.
guys.
And I still need to see it in person
Jersey
too.
ever.
That is not the best jersey
Yeah, so
ever.
Trey is now revealing that he's wearing the
Most
for
for
Columbus
Yep.
kit from, when was it, like 2012 or
15?
something?
Are you wearing the
Oh, really?
shorts with it
Is that
too?
late?
You have teal shorts on.
I can't stand up.
don't
I'll show you.
stand up and show because I might have a Ben situation.
I get excited.
So that one,
for this jersey.
that one is like, that one just looks stained. The for Columbus jersey
Yeah.
looks like it just has a big, like it used to be white and it's stained. This doesn't have that vibe. I
It's just
cannot
Charlie
help but
Brown.
wonder if someone like sued the city of Columbus because they were accidentally sewed into the pants of the big Charlie Brown at the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Can't stop drinking wine.
But I don't know.
Well, and seeing the full kit with the shorts and the socks and everything else, it doesn't look bad. Like, it looks nice. It's okay. The gradient's okay. It looks like the yellow is a shade darker than previously. I don't hate it. It's fine. It's fine.
This
No,
is
it's-
what
it's
happened.
good.
What happened was we had Ty on, Ty Phillips, and he was like, I can't discuss this, but like next year's is going to be amazing. And we were like, oh, and then the Velocity kit came out and we were all like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. I actually
like that one.
personally, I bought it and I don't like it at all in person, but it does look good on the field. That's my
Why
opinion.
don't you like it?
I don't know. In person, it just seems like kind of gray and there's not a lot to it. It's
I
I don't
like
know.
it.
It just
I love it.
So it's the look that you don't like. It
I
fits
think it's
okay,
like the way
feels
it
good.
looks is what I don't like about the look of it.
Well, no, but
On you,
the reason,
or-
this is a legit. I want to
Hold on,
buy
I got
one.
it right here.
But if
No,
it feels
DC
weird, I
and
don't wanna
DC
buy it.
copied it for their
did for
jersey
this
this year. It was
Yeah.
like the black one, but
did
they had
they?
the red stripe on the shoulder instead.
It's
really
honestly,
exactly the same
it's-
jersey.
It's not a horrendous jersey. It's not
No,
bad.
I
It
like
falls
that.
in the
Which one? We talking about the black one, the
yeah,
Velocity?
yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't bad, but I was like, cool. This is like, this one is going to be awesome. And like, it was
do it.
like
I
the
can't
year
even
of the
look at myself
yellow.
in this
The
thing.
banana kid is coming back. I'm like super pumped. And you know, Ty majored in fashion. He's like the fashion dude. So I was like, okay, this is going to be something like super cool, like the outline of Columbus, or it's going to have something. And then the leak dropped, and literally we all texted each other like, "That's fake. There's no way. There's no way." Yeah, there was like no way that
And
that was
I
it.
wanted the retro badge. I didn't get it. Very disappointed about that.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, that shit
Well, hey,
has sailed.
so something that the two kits have in common, we should not go without saying that we did see that many of the angles of lower.com and the larger Astor Park development were employed in this jersey. I think that some of the ascending and descending aspects of the squiggle are 96 degrees. There were
I prefer 98.
I thought we were going to change sponsor to Chevron or something with that little middle part. It is seriously like the Chevron logo, just in black and gray or whatever it is.
there
But-
was 0.8 degrees. There was
So
20 degrees.
let me get this
You don't
straight.
like this.
they designed a jersey that like mimicked the design of the stadium, right?
And the
Is that
building
right?
next
And
to
the
it.
building.
It
building
represents
next
the
to it.
one
new
building next to
area.
it.
So
Yeah.
they designed a shirt based off their design of a building.
I can't wait for
Yeah,
the
that
smokestack
is-
jersey.
That would have been sweet. I think that would have been super.
Would have been
sweet.
better. I don't know why they can't lean it. Okay, I don't
But
want
none of this stuff is like Columbus.
Sure,
it's like
that's my
it's
issue
like
with
new.
it. It's
Yeah.
it's not necessarily what they did, what they designed, the Astor Park. Everything is fine. All that stuff is fine. Lean into something about Columbus. You know, like there has to be other aspects. I mean, play up the German thing. Like however you want to do that. I've got some ideas. We're not going to go.
Like a clipper.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, the Clippers. We could change our name to the Clippers.
Arches or something. You know, it could be an
Something.
arch over there.
We could have like a
We could be the cream
statue being
puffs,
torn.
like something.
Statue being torn down. We could do that. we could be the indigenous people's jersey. Something.
You could have gotten canceled. You're right. It would have been great.
No, I think
So-
the thing about it is that you can tell this is designed by either marketing people or people who have not lived in Columbus or aren't from Columbus, and they're picking out something that is theirs instead of something that is ours. And that's what bothers me. Like where it's like, I like Astor Park. I like all the architecture down there. I love what they're doing. This shouldn't represent our team.
Yeah, it's like they just knew. Like we have a history. We're the
Yeah, it
capital
seems-
of
it seems
Ohio.
a little.
Haven't
seems
the
a little
past
arbitrary.
couple jerseys had the weird angles and things representing the buildings already?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
didn't they already do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got rid of the the checkered stuff, and they're like they did the whole target looking angular jingle jangs.
But I will
Just-
say,
yeah, I don't know, man.
Brianna McKay had posted a quote from Christian Ramirez where he hinted that players may be buying into the Peanuts theme with some goal celebrations.
I think they're going to shave their heads.
Just leave the two little
So,
things.
There are
it
so
would
many
be-
things they can do.
It could,
Yeah.
if the players buy in,
Miram
if
would've been
everyone
perfect
buys
for it.
in, tifos, all that. I mean, it could be fun.
Yes, after they said this is Peanuts and it looks like it, I was actually I love the jerseys now based
Oops,
on
all
just
Peanuts.
yeah, like
it's-
if they lean into the Peanuts thing, but the problem with the Peanuts thing is they had a board meeting where they showed it and no one was like, do you think that's maybe like Peanuts? Like no one said anything and they
Yeah.
just did it. That dude's from what? Milwaukee, right? Isn't he from
correct.
A minute, yeah,
Minnesota.
Yeah. One of them
Minnesota.
M places that's not
There's
Ohio.
no way that they had this up on a design board and not
Hold on, you lost me. What guy? What guy
Charles
is from
Schultz.
Milwaukee?
Unless you have a lot of yes people in the room and nobody wants to like upset.
Yeah,
anybody.
but like, there's no way that they did a market research on that and showed it to people, and nobody said,
They
"Oh,
didn't
Charlie
do
Brown."
market research on that.
They
They
Come
used
do.
to show it to Nordic.
No.
I mean, based on recent things.
But in terms of leaning into the Charlie Brown, it was very interesting to read about how divided people are about that too. Some people are very sensitive to the fact that Charlie Brown was a loser, right? He never won anything. So it's like it's that.
He misses the kick too, doesn't he?
No, he doesn't miss
but-
the kick. All right,
That's hurtful.
it's pulled away from him every
Isn't
time.
that-
Mars.
So is Don Garber Lucy in this metaphor?
But more, isn't that how like Crew fans kind of feel about the Crew? I mean, other than the fact that
Underdog.
we've won
Yeah.
multiple times, but like massive, the whole meaning behind massive and
Yeah.
I know.
like
I like it,
but
but
that's
people,
not what they were going for.
Yeah, but
It's
there was so
not,
many
no.
people. There was so
That's
many
the thing.
people that was saying that please don't lean into it. People said we should have tifos, we should do different things.
Nah,
People
dude,
are
lean
please,
into it.
please don't lean into it. I was like, no, I
I
lean
think
into
it'll be
it if you
good.
want to.
I really do.
I think it'd be
Yeah.
funny.
have fun
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
So so the game we said is in. We're recording Sunday. It's next weekend. You guys going?
Oh
Yes, sir.
2 o'clock.
No, sir.
2 p.m.
Yeah,
Yeah,
remember
love it.
this?
2 o'clock game.
It was a
they
surprise
bring-
to some of us that it was 2:00 because, for example,
It's because
Finn.
it's cold, right?
Well, I was complaining about that last year, so they
I
took
don't
that
think that's.
because last year it was a 7:00 game, and at 2:00 it was actually pretty pleasant, and it dropped so quickly.
For
So I
sure.
was like, if we had started this game at 2, it would be actually fine to be at the game. But at the 7:00, it was so freaking cold.
In
Interesting.
years past, they have brought start times forward for games at the beginning and the end of the season, which is why we had such a beautiful day that October 31st years ago when I wore the gorilla suit, as frequently discussed on this show. But
Specific dates.
that was a nice day. But no, they bring the start times forward because it's usually cold, right? Just
Well,
like you said.
I
I'm
think
surprised they
last
had a
year-
late game last year.
Last year they resisted it because it was the first year with Apple,
Correct.
and they were doing everybody at the same time for the round.
Yeah.
I know for a fact games at the old stadium used to be earlier.
Yeah.
I like having a slate of games rather than everyone at once,
Yeah.
because then I can watch a few games throughout the day or throughout the week or however it plays out.
Yeah, I don't get.
So I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can dig it. I also didn't realize that Wednesday starts the actual season, and you'll never guess who plays Wednesday.
Colorado.
Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
Welcome to Miami. And
I guess
they
Haas
are-
will absolutely not guess who it is.
You guys know, I don't know if you've seen the sportsbook odds recently, but they're the highest odds to win the MLS Cup this season.
Is it out? Can we start betting? Can you bet
I
for
placed a bet months ago.
what?
Right after this, I mean, January, months ago.
Month.
I placed
Month
a bet
ago.
weeks ago on the Crew winning it. And I wish I would have doubled it up with the Kansas City Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
You're no Derby.
The old yeah.
The old
I hope he did
Derby
it again.
double.
Derby double.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys are going. We're not going. We decided against doing like a tent for this game because we don't really know what the weather is going to be like. But we do have some new swag we're working on. Got some. Ben got how many bracelets did I send you, Ben?
I'm
Hundreds.
I don't know. Like no, I think it is it hundreds. It might be
It is
thousands.
hundreds.
It's
It's
heavy to
not
pick
thousands.
And I
We got
heard-
these awesome impossible as an opinion bracelets, so you can expect to see those everywhere.
up. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the game. If you find me, I'm gonna have them on me, and I'll give you
On
a
him.
secret. Yeah, I'm gonna have them. Yeah, like all over
All
my
the way up
body.
his arm.
Yeah, I'm just like someone take them. I'm losing circulation.
Yeah.
No, I'll have them to hand out and stuff like that. But you just gotta find me and give me a secret handshake. Emphasis on shake. I know everyone just looked at me.
we won't tell,
And-
we won't tell it because it's a secret.
Magnets.
Yeah, we got
And how do
card
those
magnets. So now if we see Courtney Sullivan or some other just anyone showing any kind of support for the Crew you won't get like a wadded up sticker shoved into your door handle with almond joy.
Glad you said door
residual chocolate.
Diabetes, baby.
We got magnets now, right?
Yep.
Yes,
Make sure you don't put them in water
did they
because
come in?
water can destroy magnets.
How do magnets work? I don't know.
Yeah, that is a thing that I've heard.
Yep.
Okay, well, so let's you guys I don't really feel like you answered me. I heard Trey was not going to the game, but you guys are going. We got Atlanta. Is Tommy going? Do you know?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's break here. I think we're gonna pop over to our conversation with Tom Bogert first, and then we're gonna go to Tommy after that, and then we'll do our predictions. So we'll be right back.
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell him that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
Okay, we got Tom here. Oh, yay! Luckily, we have him for an entire hour, so buckle up. Yeah. Just messing around. All right, so Tom, before we get started, because I know your time is precious and you are just the busiest boy I've ever seen. Go ahead and plug all your socials before we get going.
Nice, easy, and consistent. More or less at Tom Bogert across all platforms. I don't know if YouTube does one word or no word, but he's Tom Bogert, and it'll come up. Yeah, and apparently on Twitter today, I didn't see that my day was going to have 2 Las Vegas light scoops.
Yeah, I just saw that right before we hopped on. I'm just like, I mean, it just sure. Welcome to Tom's life. I can't even imagine. All right, so well, we were going to have your evil twin on Bomb Yogurt, but I guess he was busy with Las Vegas light stuff. All right, question 1 off the top, because this is kind of what we talked about in our pod. Crew jersey, yay or nay?
I thought that it looked like crap when just the picture leaked, and then seeing it, and maybe it's just because guys like Christian Ramirez and Cucho Hernandez are very handsome, and it doesn't matter what they put on.
100%.
But like, I think it looks a lot better, like really unveiled, than it did in the leak, which I guess is fair to say about most leaks, but particularly for this one, like I didn't think that I was going to do as much of a 180 on it as I did.
Yeah, I was kind of the same way. I saw it; it was like kind of pixelated, and I was like, that's not real." And then someone leaked something else. I'm like, "Dad, that's probably more like it." And then when I saw the actual, I was like, "Oh, they weren't kidding. Like, that's a real thing." And I was like, the first thing I did was look up Charlie Brown. I'm like, who wrote that? I was like, he's from Columbus. He's got to be. And it's like, nah, dude. Like, not even from that. I was like, okay, so here we are, and that seems great. All right, let's get into. All right, I'm just gonna rapid fire some stuff at you. Specifically crew related. We don't know a whole lot about the Marino Hinestroza. Can you give me some insight into what to kind of expect from that guy? And if that was a good pickup.
Yeah, so the luxury that the crew have in having Wilfred Nance is that it's a cheat code, it's a superpower.
Yeah, that's what
no matter what you give him, he maximizes. Like the last 3 years, 2 in Montreal and 1 in Columbus. Every single attacking player he's worked with has had a career best season. So that's a cheat code. If this kid is any good whatsoever, we'll know because he's working with Fernandes. But the other one is that they have the luxury of they brought back everybody. So hypothetically speaking, if they completely swing and miss and fall over, or if I was smart, I would have done the Charlie Brown swing and miss on the football kick.
You did
to tie
for
that
all the
together.
viewers. We don't have viewers.
even if this swings and misses and falls over, they're going to be fine. This is the best spot in which they don't need to rely on him necessarily, right? Like they have everybody back. And Nancy, I'm sure that they can pull somebody up from the second team. That'll be good anyway, in case it doesn't work out. What I'm curious, and I've seen some colleagues of mine speculate that he'll probably play as a wingback, which makes sense because obviously the Crew don't play with wingers. But I think it'll be like, I think that he could also play in one of the attacking spots. It's just when you have Ramirez, Cucho, Rossi, and Matan, how often are you going to get a chance? Like, I think it's more likely that we see him at right wing back. But again, that's just speculation and not inside info. But look, last point on this is just, and I wish I had better specifics, but
you're fine.
In addition to Nancy and the coaching staff, the front office, I think, is the best in the league. Agreed. They have their five main people, I think, should all be sporting directors in this league. Like Issa Tall has rejected overtures. Neil McGuinness has had offers. Mark Nichols has been around forever. Like I know that there's been interest in him. Obviously, Bezbachenko is one of the best, and Corey Ray is one of the most talented up and coming executives. So if those five dudes say that this is a good signing, who am I to say that they're wrong?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we thought. I was like, I don't know this guy, and then you see the all his highlights and stuff like that. And of course, it's a highlight reel. I'm like, this guy's nasty. And then I was like, oh, he scored only 3 goals last season. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna
replays of the same goal.
Yeah, different angles. I'm like, oh, tight. Oh, that's tight too. That's the same
Angles.
thing.
Yeah.
Derek Jones. Do you think that's a good kind of depth piece, or do you think he's going to be starting? Where do you think he's going to line up in the Nazi system?
Depth piece for sure, and I think this speaks to how collective the understanding is of how good Wilfred Nazi is, because this is the most talked about backup central midfield free agent signing in league history.
I know.
So I really like it, but I don't have anything more to say because again, my good pals at Extra Time have talked a ton about it. My guy Joe Lowry. I think that it makes, again, this is another one where if he doesn't work out here, man, like it's not going to work anywhere. I think he's really talented. I want to see him get a run kind of as one of those outside center back spots. But from the people at the club I've talked to, they see him as primarily a center mid. That they know he can play both, but
interesting.
Bringing him into preseason was that, hey, we think he's a backup center mid.
Do you sometimes see it as an option for potentially somebody leaving in the summer as a backup?
I mean, yeah, but you just need enough quality players, particularly with them being in Champions Cup now, sorry. So there's the eventuality that Aiden Morris is transferred abroad, but I don't see anything imminent coming. And if he was, they would bring in another signing. So this doesn't have any like deductive reasoning to like somebody's on the way out. It's just more about more quality players in the team.
Yeah, I always wonder, especially with our front office, you said they were so awesome, like what type of foresight they have and like what do they have cooking? I'm always like, what do they got cooking? What do they got cooking? And this offseason, I was like, oh, like only 2 signings? Okay, here we are. And soccer. But
hey, that's what happens when you do so well. And like, again, the fact that I didn't think they were going to be able to re-sign both Rudy Camacho and Steven Moreira. So the fact that they got that done was awesome. And obviously the Nagbe extension happening in the playoffs, like officially, like that was the biggest thing, I think, in the offseason. And then like, as they showed with Lucas El Rayon leaving and Diego Rossi officially being signed within 36 hours, like as much as I know that they would love Cucho Hernandez to be here for the next decade. If he's not, I can guarantee you that they're ready to sign a replacement. Like, I don't know who it is or anything, and I haven't talked to anybody, but
that is
like,
literally
that's
literally my next question is like, if Cucho leaves, do you have anybody that you can think of like in the free agent? If you don't, I'm a little panicking.
No. So my assumption is, and like, look, they signed him for $10 million. He's gotten better. He's gotten into the Colombian national team since he played here.
I know.
This wasn't from Watford. This was so like they're gonna, if they do end up selling him, it's gonna be for more. Oh, yeah. And ownership has stepped in with several big transfer fees. Again, Rossi, El Rayon, Cucho, those are all significant fees. I think that they would look in that like not necessarily like a young player, but like early prime kind of guy, like somebody else in like Cucho's age profile. Yeah. And a lot of teams have done the thing where play like Garth Lagerwey, I think, was first to really say this publicly about how they target DPs, in that one of the criteria they look for is somebody who's already moved to a different country or a different league during their career, right, and has proven that they can adapt because of how important they think that is for MLS. So again, somebody like Cucho leaves South America, plays in England and Spain, and then Italy, I believe, I forget off the top of my head, then comes here, kills it. Diego Rossi, same thing. So my assumption is it'd be like somebody within the age bracket of like 22 to 24 and with a really big pedigree.
Love it. Okay, last person on the list I kind of want to talk about that we have not talked about, and I don't see a lot of other like I don't see him in the media a whole lot, is Taha Habrun. Do you think he's going to be at least somewhat of an impact player this year? Do you think he'll have a breakout, or do you think he's just going to be buried in our depth?
Most likely the latter, and that doesn't mean anything negative towards Taha. I think that he's an awesome talent. I was pleasantly surprised that he got this first team deal. So like the way that the way that he adapted to the second team last year was quicker than I assumed from the outside, because I was at GA Cup in April and he was the best player in the U17s. Like he was awesome. But like still that's U17s and then going to a professional, even MLS Next Pro, even if you want to call it semi-pro, whatever, right? Like that's still a jump. And he seamlessly transitioned to that. He's in the first team because, again, they've managed their salary cap so well that they have the spots. If he gets 1,000 minutes, I think that's a rousing success across all competitions.
Oh, agreed.
But I'm assuming that most of his minutes, particularly at the beginning of the season, are going to come with the second team.
Yeah, was the GA Cup the one where he was taking a penalty and they were saying overrated, and then he Panenka'd the keeper? I don't know if you saw that video. They're like,
I haven't seen the video.
He like winks at him and then he Panenka's the keeper and just walks away. And I was like, sign that guy immediately.
don't let any of the scouts that are here. Like there's scouts from Manchester United, scouts from all over the world, all over Europe, like at that tournament. Just like I'm sure that like Mark Nichols and I think Corey Ray were there because they have the most hands-on with the second team in the academy from the front office. So I'm sure that they were like, somebody draw up a contract now.
They're on their phone on notes, like talk to text. Like you love the crew, right? It's okay.
Sign this napkin. It's a legally binding contract.
Yeah, put ink on his like fingers and just be like, touch it, just touch it. Give me some of that blood. All right, let's transition to the East. What are some teams that the Crew should be looking out for when they battle the East? Because last year was kind of there was just so many good teams in the East, and we've talked to some people and some teams have gotten stronger. Who are you thinking? Because we kind of stayed the same. What are some teams that are like going to be like, all right, man, these are legit teams?
For me, the top upper echelon, like first of all, the East I think is well better than the West.
Surprise.
For me, the upper echelon in the East is Columbus, Cincy, and Miami. I think Atlanta and Orlando. Honestly, like I would make that a top 5. Like I'm trying to work through my like tiers right now. And like it's really difficult to separate like Atlanta and Orlando from these 3 upper teams. Like the top 5 in the East is no joke. Like I haven't said Philadelphia Union yet. I haven't said Red Bulls, NYCFC. I think all of those teams are going to be very good as well. So right there, that's 8 teams. And like I don't know, man. If NYCFC were in the West, you could talk me into putting them second or first, right? Like you could make the argument. But that's how strong the East is. It's going to be a bloodbath. I can't wait to watch it. But again, like just because that the Crew had like a little bit of a boring offseason, you know, the most exciting part was the trophy parade, and like that's all that matters. So they're in a good spot. It's not like the sexy offseason to talk about, but I think that they're going to be awesome again.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, is there anybody in the West that my only worry is like I'm thinking Crew wins Supporter Shield or something like that, but I'm worried that every team's going to beat up on each other, and it's going to be like the one good team in the West gets it because like they're playing high school teams. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I feel again like it's going back to like other years when Philly won the Shield. Like I guess it was a shortened season. Like there was a few of those years where like Cincy were the worst team in the league forever. And Chicago were awful. And then like there was just you'd get 9 points right off the bat for playing for these bad teams. And that just doesn't really exist this year. And in the West, I just don't think that anybody's good enough to be competitive. Like Seattle would be the closest because of their quality and they're like they have a lot of in prime players. But for me, they don't have enough like top end attacking talent. Like Jordan Morris, I wouldn't call him like an elite. I think he's a very good attacker, but if he's your best attacker, then I think that's an issue.
Great for
but
MLS.
Like they're but even that, like I don't know, like he's perfect when you have Rui Diaz at like peak Rui Diaz,
right? And
then Morris can be like an overqualified second banana or whatever, right? So or third banana when it was Rui Diaz, Ladero, and him. So I just don't think that there's going to be enough. So even though that the strength of schedule out West will be easier, I just don't think any of those teams are going to be good enough over 7 months to be consistent enough to actually challenge for the Shield. Again, maybe the East really does kick the crap out of each other to the point where everybody's beating everybody, and that makes it a little easier. But I still see the Shield winner coming out of the East.
Yeah, I think the West, they'll beat up on each other kind of like the East, but they'll just be worse. You know what I mean? It's like the same thing, but it's like, you know. All right. I know I want to wrap up here because I know you're busy. Let's do Crew season. Where do you think the Crew will end up in the East? And then let's start with the East. I know it's rough. I'm surprised you had Miami that high because I I don't know, man.
Yeah,
It's a
so
long
I don't
season.
think that that's the thing. So like, I don't have them as
One or the
like,
other.
shield.
Yeah.
I don't think that they'll be shield contenders, but I think that every tournament they're in, they're going to be like. I that's why I think that they'll ultimately win a trophy this year because
Same.
like I don't think it'll be the shield, but that's why I put them in that upper apex.
Sure.
So I think Columbus, man, again, it's really hard. It's like those top 3 spots. So like Orlando to me seems like, and I'm talking this out right now because I still need to do my predictions. Maybe I'm going to go with Orlando for the shield because I look at it part narrative as well because like since he already won the shield and it's really hard to go back to back because it needs to be a concerted effort to do it. Orlando hasn't, so maybe they would. And the Crew just won MLS Cup, so I think it's going to be between those 3 teams and splitting hairs. I'd probably say Orlando.
Orlando's second half of the season last year was unstoppable.
tough.
It's probably
Yeah,
the
they
biggest.
came
We
on.
talk about the semis and we talk about some of these other wins we had, but our Orlando win, like that's huge.
Yeah, going away to Orlando and getting that, going away to Cincy and getting that, and even like playing Atlanta to start because I was like, man, Atlanta's tough too. And then the final, I was like, oh, we got this. I was completely not worried at all. I'm like, all right, cool.
Let me tell
Not
you
an
from
issue.
speaking to people around the club that week, it was a very quiet confidence of just like,
Oh yeah,
like it wasn't anything arrogant. It wasn't anything disrespectful. It was just like, we know how good we are, particularly at home, that like we will be so frustrated with ourselves if we don't win. It was more or less like, yeah, we got this.
Yeah, like we didn't win an away game all season, and then all of a sudden it was just like, oh, we got to go away to like the 2 hardest teams, and we go out and beat them the way we did, especially Cincinnati. And I was just like moonwalking around the house, like, we got it. And then once we got home, I just was like, I don't know. I drank like 1,000 beers. I was like, let's go. We're going streaky.
Sounds like a Saturday night to me.
Yeah, it was like a regular old game. Odds on winning the cup. You think it can go back to back? I mean, that's rough.
So I think that they can, and like this is where it's boring, and like I need to be better at just like doing like hot takes and not caring about context and nuance. But like just mathematically speaking, you have a 1 in 29 chance. You weight the chances, but still there's like 12 teams that I think could genuinely win a trophy this year. Hell, nobody thought Houston could win a trophy last year. I thought they were going to be crap, and then they won a trophy and they were awesome. So like if anybody's telling you that like, oh, definitely this is definitely going to happen, like they're just lying to themselves. So I don't really have much juice for that. So like, push comes to shove, I'll take the easy way out and say no. But like, I think that they absolutely are capable.
Yeah, it's all about like who's getting hot at the end of the season.
Yeah.
You know, if we get home games, I think we have a good shot at it. We don't lose anybody. I think Cucho is kind of the linchpin to all this because I think replacing him is a tall order, especially to get somebody like in and integrated. But I don't know. We have kind of a quiet confidence. All right, before you get out of here, one last thing. We always do score predictions. Atlanta. We're at home, 2 p.m., so it's not going to be that cold.
I'm so excited. This is one of the games I'm looking most forward to this weekend. Like
it's going to be like 8
I think
to
that
7.
this is. Yeah, it's like I see goals in this one, man. I'll go with a high scoring draw. Let's make it fun. 2-2.
2-2. All right. I hope you're wrong, maybe a little bit, but I don't know. It'll be fun. It'll be great. Well, next time you're in town, hit us up. We owe you a drink, and I know you're busy. Get out of here. Yeah. So again, thank you, Tom, so much for taking time out of your day.
Appreciate it.
And that's about it, man. Go Crew.
Cheers, boys.
Later.
Hello, Adam Hernandez here, fellow Crew fan and Columbus-based artist, muralist, and designer. When I'm not making art, I'm looking at art. And when I'm looking at art, I want it to come to life. That's why I made my new augmented reality prints. What's an augmented reality print, you may ask? Well, I make my really cool psychedelic art come to life in the palm of your hand. Check out my website, ahernandezart.com or at ahernandezart to learn more. They're really rad. ahernandezart.
We're back with Tommy Moose from Scarves and Spikes podcast. Welcome back to the club, Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy!
Back. Felt like the season just ended. There you go. There
we go.
It did. Yeah, so we were just talking right before we got back on
I love
here.
that, actually.
About things we've heard about ways that the Crew can lean into the Charlie Brown universe that we're now in for the next 10 months. Mm-hmm. It's rivaled only by the DC and Marvel universes, but Tommy, so what are your thoughts on the jersey and what have you heard? I know that you're at least tracking these things, even though your first team is not the Crew.
It's the joke, right? Like you obviously have to deal with the jokes for like the first 24 hours, and then it kicks in, and then you see everything, and you're like, okay, it's not terrible. I think every kit reveal, unless there's a couple like really good, cool ones out there that everyone's going to overreact to, like Minnesota, beautiful, beautiful.
Well, there's some really nice ones out there.
Yeah, there's
That's
some
the
good
number
ones.
one.
How do you feel about Atlanta bluing themselves?
The Phoenix,
Bluey.
the Phoenix.
Is that what it is?
Well, we
Oh,
had
I
the
see it
forest
now.
green, and then we went to the blue. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the away kit.
I like the green.
Is that have
You guys
to do with
lost
the
a bunch in
flag?
it, but
Yeah,
Like
it
the
has to
city
do with
seal or
the
something?
city of Atlanta flag. The green we always lost.
Oh, those
in.
kits always go well.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful with that, Trey. Show him your jersey
I
you're
got
wearing.
the for Columbus here. If this is what you're looking at,
Look at that. Just look at
the
that.
worst
It
jersey in
looks like,
MLS history.
dude,
yeah. It's got like a light blue and a red,
See,
and then it's
and then the
white,
badge.
and then it has the yellow.
City
It's
badge.
horrible.
it's the puke gradient down the front.
It's
that really
not
ties it all
it's
together.
piss.
Yeah, it's not.
If you stare at it like cross-eyed for like the 30 seconds, and then you see DeWine's face just show up in there.
Probably.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you puke.
Right.
The worst part about this jersey is every
It's a
time I go
magic
to
eye.
every time I go to put it on, I go to walk out and I change it. But every single time before I walk out of the house, it's
This
just
is
like
the day.
I can't
I'm
do
gonna
it.
do it today.
I can't do it.
Today's my day.
You can see how
For
this ended up
Columbus.
this tonight. Is I put it on and I was like, I got to put a coat on. I can't wear this
Yeah.
thing.
All right. So, anxious to hear what you have to say about Atlanta. Wanted to have you on just to kind of catch up and see like what you expect to see from this team this season. How what changes were made. We talked a little bit about this a couple weeks ago, but in anticipation for this game. But from your perspective, what can we as Crew fans expect to see out of Atlanta coming into this game?
So you look defensively. This team, both of our teams were very similar in the regular season. Scored a ton of goals, but you allowed a ton, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Atlanta went out there and they tried to fix all of that. So part one, Miles Robinson out. Now, if you don't watch Atlanta United, people think that that's a huge loss for them. But Miles Robinson had been kind of mediocre a lot of the season. So, he leaves and goes to Cincinnati. And yeah, the hardcore fans, the ones that have seen Miles grow up with Atlanta United were really sad. The ones that have watched him since he's come back from his injury last year, it was like, okay, you know what? If you want to go, they did offer him a max TAM contract, but he ends up moving out. That's okay. They went out and got Stian Gregerson to replace him. So the back line is different. They also got Derek Williams, formerly of the Revolution, to come in. He might actually start on Saturday. He might beat out Abram, who was one of the starting center backs for most of the season for Atlanta. But the midfield, though, is where they've been starting to evolve things. So last year they got Tristan Miyamba in the midfield that kind of completely transformed them. And he was very aggressive, especially in that Columbus series. Now you look at that first. I mean, you guys were were demanding that he get sent off, and he probably should have. In game one, there,
Blue card.
Blue card. Yeah.
Ooh, definitely a blue card.
Yeah.
But he's transformed that midfield. He's kind of the guy that we've been looking for a while to replace, Nagby, to be able to move that ball forward. So that was step one.
Mm-hmm.
And then step two was they got Bartosz Szlisz, a defensive midfielder, which was something that they desperately needed. You bring him in, everything else is pretty much the same. Now you do have a keeper battle here in the preseason. Brad Guzan, he's 75 years old. Actually, he's like 2 years younger than me, and it's really depressing when I make fun of him for being old. I think he's like 30. I think he's 38.
For the White House.
Yeah,
and I'm 41.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So yeah, that's the
it's a semi-sesquicentennial is a word I learned recently.
How did you 75. Not get rid of Almeida? How did he not go?
So yeah,
middle of the season.
Was there just not interest?
Summer.
Like what happened? Yeah, but still, I mean,
the window's still open.
Technically, yeah.
I don't think he leaves this window at all. He's definitely going to stay here. The summer, probably, yes. There were rumors of a couple offers from a couple different leagues. Atlanta's looking for, a record-setting number here. They're not going to move on it. Almada, he did go on ESPN Deportes and ask. He said he was ready to leave now. It's probably just something his agent told him to say.
You were talking about the goalkeepers, though. I interrupted you, right? So there's a fight going on, right? They brought in someone,
Cohen,
Josh Cohen,
Israel, overseas.
That guy's good.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't see him starting.
Where did he come from
on Saturday, though? My other two guys at Scarves and Spikes think he's going to start. Last preseason game against Sporting Kansas City, Brad started.
Oh yeah.
Usually your dress rehearsal.
Didn't you lose?
3-1. Yes, and it was behind closed doors. So you guys know a little bit about trying to hide preseason results, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. God.
We didn't play games.
Yeah, they don't. They
We're
don't
playing matches. What?
If you don't tweet it, it didn't happen.
Also true.
No,
So you
you-
still have Yakimakis up front. You still have
The entire front's still there.
GG.
Yakimakis. You still got
He's a
Silva,
beast.
Spider-Man, and then Saba.
Did you mention
Wow.
the other 75-year-old Dax?
Oh yeah.
Dax McCarty journeyed
Speaking of old men.
southeast.
Is his
of
name
Nashville.
Dexter? Like, what
No.
is Dax short for?
No, it's Dax.
Dax.
It's just Dax. It's
D-A-X.
just Dax.
I can't
It's
say
just
it without
Dax.
Just
saying
like Max,
Dax.
but with a D. Yeah. So
you
I
think
bet
he's gonna
this is
play?
this is his journey
that
where
up.
he's
That
going to
could be
go
right.
down there and be a in the locker room, and he's going to take a coach's license or something like that while
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
down there in Atlanta. This is what I'm
That's
thinking.
what I
that
thought he
is,
was doing
right?
in Nashville.
He's not going to start.
He's been doing it everywhere, but just not doing it.
Yeah. Do you think he'll play?
I think he's going to get some time, in the second half, a lot of games, especially if they're up a goal. This team had been, again, just like you, blowing leads at the end of games. I think he's a guy that comes in and just tries to shut it down.
Would he go in for? You said Mwamba or whatever. Is he like a 6,
I could see him coming in.
or would he come in for like Almada and they just drop?
Like, he could replace either one of them, I think.
Coming in when he has a yellow card, then he can come in
Right.
and ride out the rest of the game. But it's
Yeah,
interesting, the transfer you made is people that recently now played Conference League, 2 of them, I think. One is in Israel, the goalie, right? Cohen came from Israel now.
Yep.
That's where he was
And
from.
Stian
yeah.
Gregerson with Bordeaux, which is a pretty good team. And he also had a stint, played, I think he had 1 game for Norway last year too. So he's quality player. Even though there was like a B team kind of the same thing we have here. It's kind of a B team thing, but he's a quality player, and that guy from Poland too is clearly a quality, and he 3.2 million too. So that was an investment.
Yeah, I mean, this is so Gonzalo Pineda. This could be potentially his last year as manager. His contract's up, so he's fighting for his a renewal. Right, he's got to do something.
Yeah.
And defensively, this team has been, I think over the 2-year span, they are the worst team defensively over the last 2 years. So he's got to prove something here, and they've completely revamped their midfield, their back line. Now they've got to do something.
Yeah, my hope is that they're still trying to figure it out in the first couple of games, and we can sneak one in at home. Because I genuinely think, because we talked about it last pod or 2 pods ago, there's like 3 teams out there that I'm like, oh, these guys are legit, and Atlanta's one of them. I think it's Montreal and New England are the other ones where I'm like, man, they're no joke when you look at who they kept and like what they got.
Who their coaches are.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with Montreal. A lot
I
of
don't
people
think
have
so.
them
I don't
dead
think I
last.
do either. Yeah,
So-
that's a Ben thing. But
No, but Montreal has some. They got our second team coach,
I know.
Sure.
we've-
and
Yeah.
they signed Joseph Martinez.
they also
Check
have
back with
Yeah,
me
exactly,
at the end.
yeah.
Who did we
Yeah.
do this last year
not
with?
the Atlanta version of him.
they also have the worst.
DC, where you were completely
by
wrong.
Yeah,
one
you were so
point. They
wrong.
didn't make the playoffs.
Wayne Rooney's passport was incinerated. It was just like they sent him packing so hard. Okay, all right. So
if you-
Tommy, go ahead.
No, and if you tighten up that defense, yes, there's few teams that will look more dangerous than that, and that's kind of what happened with us a little bit. Even though we let us a goal in the playoffs, but we seemed to shore up our defense. Like started to get better halfway through the season. We were leaking like crazy, I mean, we're letting some goals, but I think that was kind of the difference maker in the end.
Yeah, we had a revolving door on the back line for half the season last year.
And with Almada, I was reading today he's been captaining the Argentina team. They just qualified for the Olympics.
The U23s?
So he's going to miss time at some point then.
So yeah, he will be missing time right around
Olympics.
Leagues Cup. Now, he might not even be part of Atlanta United at that point. They might have already sold him, like right around. All kind of comes in at the same time. What I'm concerned about here is whether Almada is going to start on Saturday versus Columbus, because he just returned from the qualifiers, and I believe his first day back with the team is tomorrow, so Monday.
So last winter when he didn't show up, that didn't go that well. So I hope for him not to be in there again. That would be great.
Yeah,
that was an ugly game.
Yeah. Who replaces him?
That was an ugly game. And that was the only crew game my parents have been to. They came up for Norway and went to that game. It's like, is this how they do this every week? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
6-1.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nick Firmino would
that was the
replace
Star
him,
Wars.
Ben. And he's a young player.
Okay.
He's been playing the entire preseason in that position. Very young. I believe he scored, 2 goals this preseason. He's doing okay, but he's not an Almada. It's a huge downgrade.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to this season getting started, and Atlanta's a great opponent to kick things off. We had a storied season with Atlanta last year. I don't know how many. What we play 5 times. They were great games. Yeah. So looking forward to kicking off the season here, and appreciate
what? Where were you?
Tommy doesn't agree.
Where were you? They were great games for you. Star Wars night, famous Star Wars night, where it was like the entire Atlanta United teams on international duty. Oh,
yeah,
that game
great
sucked.
Games. Okay, well,
all right, Tommy, thanks for having me.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I will screw myself and walk out.
Yeah. No.
May the 4th be with you. All right, see you later.
I mean, opinions are not impossible, and mine is that they were great games. But
no, before he leaves, we need a score prediction.
Oh yeah. Give us a score.
Welcome back to the club.
It's like 6-2 this year.
Welcome to the club.
So, looking at this, knowing it's early in the season, if Almada plays, I see this as a 2-2 game.
Ooh.
If Almada doesn't play, you guys win like 4-1.
Okay. I said we'd let both go.
Do you think they're coming in with a little extra motivation for this game? I mean, everybody want to start off on the right foot, of course, but I mean, granted, like you said, we came here last year. It was kind of an embarrassment, and then also the playoffs.
You guys, did you win the second? Did you win the game
4-2
in Atlanta during the regular season?
It was a draw.
No tie.
Yeah, it was a draw. Miles Robinson scored late.
Okay.
How did that happen?
We like
again,
to say
we don't talk about how that happened. We don't talk about how that happened.
Oh, but
we don't talk about how that happened anymore.
How great everything went on for you guys when you won all the games 13-1.
No, Tommy, this is in honor of Kevin Molino that had a great assist. It's kind of second assist against Cincinnati and retired from Columbus. So we don't talk about those things anymore.
Ben has told me about
he gave up a goal
many times. If he comes on, bad things happen. I've heard.
Not anymore.
I like the prediction. We lost our first game 4-1 last year against Philadelphia.
Yeah, and then Jim Curtin told everybody that we were a very, very good team after we lost 4-1.
We're like, yeah, thanks a lot, and then we actually were a really good team. But those goals were asterisks.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be a jerk about the Atlanta game. I mean, I felt like Atlanta, with regards to teams that were formidable, putting the ball in the net. Atlanta was second to only the Crew last year. So I don't know that we have like a huge rivalry with Atlanta in years past, but just the fact that we faced each other with that like series of 3 in the playoffs too, I think turned the heat up between the two teams. And I'm glad we're starting the season playing Atlanta this year. So We'll put you down. Ben said he's going to give you a double prediction. I don't know how that works. You could get 2 bracelets, I guess.
2 of them.
Or a half of one or something. I don't know. But appreciate you making time to jump on here and talk about Atlanta. And I know these guys will be at the stadium, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Let's have a drink, guys.
We'll get drinks before.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Drinks.
Thanks, man.
Before I cry.
Let's
Safe travels.
See you guys.
Sorry, I'm here for business. Discord Echo, it's Discord Echo, it's Discord Echo, it's Discord Echo.
Discord.gg/crew96.
That's discord.gg/crew96. Join today.
All right, we're back. Thanks again, Tommy, for jumping on here. Scarves and Spikes podcast. Look forward to seeing what unfolds, and I think that will transition nicely into our first prediction segment of season 3. Now, last season,
my goodness,
how is it time?
last season was
what is time?
It was exciting. It was exciting to be at the top for the entire season for me personally. I have to go back and look at the stats, but I don't know that I was anywhere but the top of the table for the entire season. Hawes came in last. I like the term basement. That was the term that I heard Mort use for where Hawes spent the season, was in the basement. And in the basement, while he spent all season down there, he was digging through some old boxes and found his reward for finishing the season in the basement, which was a XXX
Triple.
It's a queso.
Triples is best.
It's a queso. Thank you. It's a queso.
It's a queso.
Queso jersey. Yeah, it's he'll be wearing it on Saturday over his coat.
I gotta find it. I don't know where I put it.
You don't know where you put it.
We'll come here.
Don't know where you find it for you.
Come on.
You need to be wearing
Really?
it for
It's
every
like, oh, I don't know.
podcast.
Oh, sorry, can't wear it. Don't
Just
know where
take
it
it
is.
off
I'm
and
not
keep it in the
saying I
room.
won't wear it. I'm saying I gotta find it. I don't see it in the room currently.
So if you see the man in green, that's
You
Hawes.
see the man in green. That's Hawes. He's bad at predicting things, and
Kiss him. He's Irish.
should not
That's
take.
why
He's not a fiduciary. Should not accept financial advice from him. Okay, so
Fiduciary.
so we're kicking off our predictions for this season. I think we did some giveaways last season. It was kind of we were giving away Ben's I think
Everything.
you sent out like your social security card.
Yeah. Wait, I need that back.
Anyway,
I gotta apply for a home loan.
We don't know where
Home
what we will ultimately give away this season, but for starters, we are again partnering with Supporter Supply. Big thanks to Morgan for donating a Nordeca split kit to the listener who gets the first 3 correct predictions. So that's guessing the score correctly 3 times, not in a row, just 3 total, and we'll be keeping track with our own predictions throughout the season. So if you get 3 right, you get the split kit, and so we will start there. After we give that out, then we'll figure out what comes next. But it took who won the jersey last year? Inui.
Yep.
Inui.
Yep.
Yeah, and it will of course be signed by your favorite crew podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So I think we're ready to lay it out, right? We heard from Tommy. He said either 2-2 or 4-1.
Yeah, he pulled a me and was just like, what happens with this? So chances are every time you give like 2 or 3 answers, or I do like 4, like none of them are going to
So
hit.
he's locked in as soon as we know if Almeida's playing.
Yeah, that's also true.
Correct.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll be
right.
with him.
Yeah,
I'll
that
tweet
makes
it out.
sense. That makes sense.
And then we're also going to do it on the side, so there's no cheating this year, right? We're going to put
right.
it in the little whatchamacallit.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No positioning.
Yep.
Gross.
Okay. So with that said, let's go ahead and put our predictions in the chat. All right, let's talk about D's next
I don't know. I thought I
You got to think about that.
I'm already sweating.
Man, I don't even know. Like,
Buckle up, Buttercup.
My tongue is sweating.
I'm not good at doing things.
So before you hit send, there was something else that we talked about. We're going to make some changes to the score. So for our internal predictions. So the last year we did a 1 point for a correct result and 2 additional points for the exact score. This year we're going to add a little more. It's not really complexity, but you can score 2 points if you get the crew score right.
Crew number, crew goal.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't say it like that. Let me rephrase. You get 1 point for the result being correct. You get 1 point for the crew score being correct, and then you get 1 point for an exact result. So the example would be if Trey guessed 2-1 crew. If the score was 3-1 crew, he would get 1 point for the result. If the score was 2-0 crew, he would get 2 points, 1 for the result being correct and 1 point for the crew score being correct. And then, of course, if it was 2-1 crew, he would get 3 points.
I will add if it was 2-3, he would lose 2-3. He will still get 1 point for the number.
That's what I was going to say.
Right.
Totally understand it. Not a big deal.
And then we can talk about, I think we're early enough in the season where we can amend what the stakes are here. At the very least, the loser will have to wear the queso kit at next year's Cruisemas.
And they get to keep it, and they have to wear it on every pod for that year.
Okay.
Is that part of the deal? I'm supposed to be wearing it?
Yes.
I thought so. You don't have to wear it on every pod, but, often enough for us to remember how much time you spend in it.
I'll wash it.
Don't wash it.
I'll wear it.
Definitely wear it.
Okay. All right.
It's comfy.
So I think we're good. You guys ready to hit send?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. I like this. All right. So I'm gonna start with Ben. Ben couldn't come up with anything other than the example we used. It was 2-1 crew.
Recency biased.
So he
Goldfish brand.
He thinks that the Columbus Crewlie Browns are going to win 2-1.
I just thought about this. Like, the owner of the Browns saved us. So, like, Crewlie Browns makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, genius.
Thank you very much.
You sure about that?
You sure about that? That's right. You sure about that? That's right. I thought about going big, like 4-2, kind of like, back, like basically what the score was during the playoffs. But I don't know. Every time I go big, it's always like shorter. So I think 2-1. I think it's gonna be closer than we think. But that's just like my opinion, man.
It's a great breakdown.
Possible.
Okay. All right. Trey, you said 3-0 crew.
Yeah. I do not
Anything
think
to add?
Yeah, I don't think Almeida's gonna play. I think that's gonna play a big impact. And coming out at home, put a couple away, get one late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mort, you said 3-2. Anything to add?
No, it just seems like a result between these two teams looking back at last season.
A lot of goals.
Yeah, a lot of goals, but it's so hard. New year, are we going to start hot, or are we building up for better things? But yeah, it's going to be goals for sure.
Yeah. Okay. And Haas, you said the same.
So Mort, you're going to lose.
Yeah, damn it.
I feel like I'm stuck in the crew world. That's like, I'm always looking at everything online, and I feel like they have been gelling during the preseason.
I thought that was your new
good
podcast.
At the end of last season.
Stuck in the crew world.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The first episode was Magellan.
Atlanta hasn't won an away game in their last 6 matches. I know that goes into last season.
2 of
They
them were
haven't
here,
kept a
right?
clean sheet in 11 matches.
It goes into and includes only last season. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
But I think they're a solid team. So I don't think we're going to get away scot-free with a 3-0 win.
No, with GG on
That would
top
be
there.
insane, Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also said 3-0. There's not going to be a lot of stratification here on our little table.
Am I the only one that did something?
You're gonna
I
insert
get it. That's a Magellan. It's a Magellan.
You're going to put in the tables clip on,
yeah.
on that? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, and then maybe we should take a moment. I don't know how frequently we want to do this, but just as we're heading into this season, last podcast season ended, something like 5 days ago. And on that episode, we discussed our bold predictions for the season. I feel like it's worth mentioning those quickly before we wrap up here. You guys are going to have to remind me. I know Ben's was kind of nebulous. He said you said we would take a trophy, right? So
I said we would win the supporters shield and we would win a trophy.
okay. All right.
Those
So
two
your
things.
your
But I
bet is
didn't specify.
We're gonna get double brass.
It's like
and it's going to
yeah,
include supporter
Ben,
shield.
Ben,
and
Ben.
then
Vegas would love you. It's like, hey, can I take this bet where
I
if
moonlight
this-
as
if
a
this, then that.
palm reader, so I just kind of give a bunch of stuff, and then hopefully
Yeah.
you want to get to, like, yeah, you're gonna get married or something.
Yeah, you're going to
love
be
some people.
very, very fortunate in the coming days. Mort,
Zoltar, baby.
you said that the crew is going to be a part of and win the highest scoring game in MLS history.
That is a crazy prediction. I thought about that. I was listening back. I was like, that's bananas.
Can I add one to that?
I want you to, yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna have a Charlie Brown tifo this year.
Okay,
That's not it.
that's good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good. I look forward to
I
seeing.
know it's not the big, but yeah, it's a thing.
Okay, all right. And then Trey, you said we were going to have the most points in a season. Is that right?
Yep.
Did I get that?
That's correct.
No? Was that Hawes? Oh, that was you.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was
No.
me.
like
When
70
the-
some.
73 was
supporter-
the past record. So we're going to score 74 or more points on the table.
and we're going to top our goals for last year.
Whew,
Oh, wow. Okay.
that's a lot of goals.
That's a
We're
lot of
helping
goals.
you.
All the
We don't
goals.
lose anybody.
Okay. And then
Best
Hawes, yours was finish higher than 5th place in the predictions bracket. And what else was
Cucho and Morris will not be traded away this season.
okay.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. And you said Nancy would be with us too.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and then I said the crew's not going to win a game 1-0 again all season, and that Miami is not going to make the playoffs.
I really wanted to predict 1-0 in this opening game.
Oh yeah,
Oh, and
The,
I kind of regret not doing it now because I wasn't sure if you were still doing that thing. But no,
I am. I'm gonna
I should have listened to the podcast.
Yeah, or just listened like
should
while
subscribe.
we were having the conversation. Like you wouldn't have had to listen. You could have just listened when I said it to you.
Yep.
Nah, I don't know.
Nah.
Okay. All right. That's great. Let's see. God, it feels like only yesterday we had the victory parade with Courtney, Darby. Who's
That
new
was
to
a great
crew?
pod.
New to
I love
crew. What was his name? Pete. That's right. Anyway, it's short off season. It was a great parade of people. We made a lot of money from that, and we just need to be really careful with the parade money.
Don't spend it all in
Because our
one place.
fortune is not getting any bigger. It's just that amount of money, and it gets smaller till we die. So, or we make a good deal with you. So, I think that's all we got for this week. So we'll catch up after the Atlanta game on Saturday. Go Crew.
Go.
Crew time.
Crew time.
Thanks everyone for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew.
It's crew time.
It's crew time, baby.
Sounds like crouton.
It's crouton, baby.
I like croutons.